Red Robin is lucky. The chain is somewhat one of the saints of the American hospitality industry and has consistently seen profit and growth. The business avoids controversies like a plague, and after over 60 years of business, it still has very few scandals. But things are not quite as good, as it looks like a sin for the saintly company to make profits. Welcome to the lucky but not so lucky story of Red Robin. Most U.S. restaurant chains are either products of successful family businesses or an entrepreneur's ingenuity. But that's not the case for Red Robin. The story of Robin's beginning is, well, odd. Why odd? Everyone has a version of how the business began operations. You see, most sources start telling the story of this business from either 1969 or 1942. However, the business has a history that runs deep into the early 1900s. It all began in 1916, over 100 years ago. What became Red Robin was a tiny grocery store in Seattle. In 1926, the grocery store became a hamburger waffle corner, and 3 years later, it became a lunchroom. For the next 3 decades, the tiny store became 12 different hospitality businesses under different owners. Among these owners was Sam Karsten, who allegedly named the business after himself. Karsten called it Sam's Red Robin in the 1940s. Allegedly, he chose the name for a weird reason: a hit song. In 1926, Sam had a favorite song, Red Robin, which was a hit. So he named his business after that song. But this could be far from the truth, as official records say otherwise. These records claim that Sam Karsten gained ownership of the company in 1953, and the name Red Robin has been around since 1942. So no hit songs are involved. Yeah, it would have been cool if the song had an influence on the name, though. The source of the name regardless, Sam made this business a popular college hangout at the University of Washington campus in Seattle, Washington. He gave it consistency for 16 years. But something changed in 1969. A dreamer emerged. No, his name isn't Joseph. And if you'd like to learn about the history of your favorite eateries, be sure to subscribe for more content like this. So if the chain began long before, why did many people believe it started in 1969? The reason is simple. The previous ownerships had more failures than successes. But as the new owners would learn, maybe they should have let Red Robin be. You could say they saw red. But let's save that for later. So with drama about the business's true origin out of the question, let's begin. You know, the chain took off in 1969. This was because 25-year-old dreamer Gerald Robert Kingen bought it from Sam Karsten. Why did we call Gerald a dreamer? You'll see. Gerald, or Jerry Kingen, dropped out from Washington State University, but he had an ambition. So he set out to be the youngest Washington native to attain a liquor license, and he did so in 1965 at 21. The license allowed him to buy a bar and transform it into a popular nightclub for university students. But the nightclub was only the first step in his dream. Kingen's parents were restaurateurs, and he grew up washing and drying dishes. So he dreamed of building a big restaurant business, and when he had the money, he bought Red Robin in 1969. His business sold chicken, appetizers, burgers, sandwiches, French fries, desserts, milkshakes, salads, soups, soft drinks, and alcoholic beverages. 10 years of building the brand, adding new delicacies to the menu, and pioneering the gourmet hamburger earned Red Robin a loyal customer base. In fact, a whole family of brothers, the Snyder brothers, Michael, Steve, and Brad, fell in love with the company. Their love didn't end with words and proclamations. It also came with a vision to grow the business. They approached Jerry in 1979 and pitched their vision to him. The brothers wanted to be franchise owners. Jerry accepted their offer, and it turned out to be what Red Robin needed. The Snyder brothers built the company's first franchise location in Yakima, Washington. The business then subsequently built its first out-of-state store in Portland, Oregon. By 1985, the restaurant had 175 branches all over the nation. Talk about rapid! But something surprising happened. Despite the progress Jerry's business was making, the man cut and ran. He sold his business to the Japanese corporation Skylark. It was as if Jerry saw the future. As he left, the new owners experienced a downturn in Red Robin's fortune. The company made little to no progress, and the future became bleak, or should we say, red. But there was hope, sort of. The franchise the Snyder brothers controlled experienced amazing growth. It opened over 14 restaurants and had over $40 million in revenue annually. Michael Snyder and his brothers weren't happy. Their beloved company was drowning. There was a need for change. In 1996, Michael brought another offer to the new owners in Tokyo and returned as the COO and president of the main company. With Michael at the helm, the company moved from stagnancy to growth, with average restaurant sales growing from $1.8 million to $3 million. This improvement was a relief. However, amidst the relief, Snyder knew it was time to work harder. He knew the company had to work harder because a new era had arrived in the American fast food industry. The chain had to expand, and it had to do it fast, as expanding helped drive success. Well, most times. To achieve the much-needed expansion, the company merged with its first franchise owner, Snyder Group. This move gave Michael and his brothers a significant equity interest in the business. It gave him control over the company's future. However, Michael's ambitions still seemed far out of reach. Thankfully, fortune smiled on his hard work, and Quad C, a private equity group, invested $25 million in the company in 2000. This investment was what the company needed to give the business the change it desperately needed to grow. So the chain soon had branches in Chicago, Illinois. Still, the chain wasn't satisfied. It wasn't growing at the speed it wanted. The restaurant had a solution to get the rapid expansion it wanted. So it went public in July 2002 and planned to use its initial public offering, or IPO, to raise $60 million. Red Robin also planned to use the money raised to clear debt and expand to at least 850 branches nationwide. But the company was truly a dreamer. The funds from the IPO didn't reach the target goal. However, luck shone on the company again, and the company obtained a $40 million credit. The combination of capital from the IPO and the credit allowed the company to grow to 193 in December 2002. So in the early 2000s, the company grew from strength and recognition came knocking. Restaurant Hospitality recognized the company as the Restaurant Chain of the Year 2005. The company reached average unit sales of $1.5 million. You know how the company was always in luck? Yeah, luck got tired of the chain and left. In 2005, the company faced a major scandal. Its CEO, Michael Snyder, faced allegations of fraud and had to step down. These allegations brought about an SEC investigation, a shareholder lawsuit, and a new era of poor decisions. Michael Snyder's departure didn't bring about a sudden downturn in Red Robin's growth, but it opened an injury that would cause slow rot, which caused harmful consequences, as you will see. The new leadership launched a fast food model for its new locations in 2011, the second year of the new decade. This model allowed customers to customize their burgers. A beautiful idea, yet it ended as a failure. 5 years later, in 2016, the company called it quits. It closed down 9 of the 12 fast food locations and rebranded the remaining 3. The failure of the fast food venture began the company's downward spiral. 2016 became a year of losses for the business with a severe decline in revenue. The chain failed to attract or keep customers in 2018, and sales went down by 5.5% in its restaurants and 3.6% in stores in the mall. The business didn't fare any better in 2019 as the company closed 5 of its locations in Alberta, Canada. To worsen the issue, the restaurant has a poor public presence. Its marketing and PR efforts have been ineffective, which wasn't doing the chain any favors, especially as the competition has gotten fiercer. The company has had to change 2 advertisement agencies in less than a decade in the hopes of getting results. 18 years after Michael Snyder's departure, the business has 546 locations in 44 states and 1 Canadian province. It has failed to reach the number of restaurants it planned to reach. Now the business has changed strategy. It has decided against expansion. It decided to focus its growth in its home state, Washington. Who would believe that 22 years after setting lofty goals, the company would throw these goals down the drain? Red Robin began from being owned by different people to having a dreamer as the owner. After 10 years of the dreamer's leadership, the chain grew. Then it struggled and had issues with money. The chain would receive the help it desperately needed. Michael Snyder, under whose leadership the chain had a significant amount of growth, eventually left the company unceremoniously and the business ran out of luck. Could things have been different if Michael Snyder had remained in the company, or would the company still deal with the problems of growth? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to support our channel.